Okay, good morning. My name's Jennifer Sluss. I teach secondary English at Knott County Central High School. I have mostly juniors and seniors. I teach AP language and college dual credit, but I also have general senior English and general junior English. And the problem I was trying to address with the grant was how to encourage students to write for an authentic purpose when they write narratively. And the traditional assignment in English for narrative writing is a personal narrative, but I find, especially with my regular education students that have some collaborative students mixed in, that they don't want to read their personal narrative, they don't want other people to read their personal narrative, and they sometimes feel narratived out. So they also struggle with writing a short story because it's difficult to write a good short story, and they tend to be about 27 pages long and nothing really happens. And so I was looking for a project that maybe could build a sense of pride, that had an authentic purpose, and it's not really a revolutionary project, but I decided to try and implement it this year. It's a children's book project where we're going to collaborate with a first grade classroom in our school district and interview the children and write a personalized book. So one of the data collection points that I wanted to work on for this project was how it affected the senior, I did my 12th grade students, how it affected the senior writers in building a sense of pride in their work, feeling like their writing made a difference, and that they would try hard to make a good book for these students. So I started with a survey, and I just had them circle 1 to 10 how they felt about writing, that they felt that they were a good writer, they felt like they could create a good book, that they know how to write one well, and whether or not they thought they would do well on a project that another child would be, they're going to be given the books. So when I tallied that data up, I noticed that a lot of students felt like they did not have enough self-confidence to write a book. The lowest scoring or lowest average points on the survey were that you could write well or that you could write a good children's book. And I'm hoping that once they're done, they feel like they can. I think the students that they're reading them to will enjoy them, even if they're just an average book. I think they'll like them. So that's the first data collection, sort of an intrinsic one that's a little harder to improve. And then, of course, I want there to be a sense of community, and I want them to see maybe how appreciative the younger generation of readers, an emerging reader, is going to be to have a book like this. And even though it fulfills a requirement for my class, that the younger children will very much appreciate their hard work. So then I had to survey the first grade students and find out what they liked and who their family members were and what their favorite books and TV programs and characters were. And then we're going to take all of that and write a children's story. So in order to help with that, I checked out about 30 books from the library that have titles like There's Something in My Attic, Supersaurus Saves Kindergarten, and Do Princesses Wear Hiking Boots? And I'm going to ask them to create a story about that child that either overcomes one of their fears, a superhero emulates a superhero that they like, or a characteristic of a superhero that they like, or helps them have some kind of self-confidence in some way or another. So that was The Princesses Wear Hiking Boots. And I surveyed the first grade children. I got permission slips from their parents to participate in the project, to use their photo. I'm also hoping to incorporate some FaceTime so that children can talk to their authors before they actually get the books. And also to maybe use their work in the spring to present here. And then the parents helped fill out what they liked, what their biggest fears were. And I'm just laughing because I just read this one that says creepy dolls. But they, if it's spiders or something, maybe in the book they can address overcoming a fear and maybe helping that child in that respect. And then once their stories are written and proofread, and we talk about the requirements of creative writing with dialogue and imagery and things like that, there's a company called Bear Books, B-A-R-E, and they have a really nice hardback book that has blank pages, and we're going to then incorporate some of the 21st century skills of editing and graphic design, just touch on it a little bit, do some airdrop of photos, editing the child's face and putting it on the pages in different scenes, or maybe not every page would have the child's face on it, but that the child will actually appear in the book, and it will be, maybe Jordan Saves Kindergarten or whatever, the title page. And if you print on a laser printer, which is part of my budget, you can decoupage the pictures on the book, and it makes like a nice, almost looks real, coming from a printer, because it makes a nice smooth surface and it doesn't peel off or anything like that. And then the pages will just rubber cement or glue in there, because there's no way to print on the pages once the book's assembled, of course. So, and then we're going to pick a day in the spring and have a reading party. My students will go to the elementary school and will pair up with the child that they wrote their book about, and maybe have some snacks or whatever and read the book. And I thought it was interesting, the highest scoring question on my survey was that 80% of the students felt they would do an excellent job if the book was going to be given to a child. So we'll find out if that's true. But I did think that was an interesting one. Some of them, the writing questions were more out on a scale of 1 to 10, more like a 4, that they didn't really have a lot of confidence. And then one of the other questions that scored a little higher was that they would enjoy reading to a child. Most students said they would like that. So it's just an authentic way to encourage narrative writing, get a little bit of 21st century skills in, and then build some community with the students. So, any questions?